What's going on, guys? It's your boy Elisha here, and welcome back to God. This is a show where we discuss everything in the world of football from the past weekend. By we, I mean myself and you, the beautiful people of the world of football. Guys, we pressed this week. We are pressed. There's so much going on in football. It's a lot, even for me, but I'm not going to complain. Let's get right to the business. No, but for real, let's just start out by saying there's really a lot going on in football right now, even for me. Like, I can talk about football for hours and hours and hours.
2 hours later.
And hours and hours, but there's so much going on right now. Put this into perspective. There's the Women's World Cup going on right now. There's the Gold Cup that just started. Copa America also just started. The U20 World Cup just finished. The U21 Euros just started. Bruh, it's a summer transfer window, and considering the African Cup of Nations hasn't even started yet, transfer window, you got transfers going on, you got players doing things outside of the game. You have so many things happening right now in football. It's incredible. Like, I'm not complaining about it because I love everything regarding to football, so ain't no worries, but it's a lot to keep up with. But that's what you're here for, so I can tell you all about the stuff that matter right here on the Goal Show. And by the way, happy belated Father's Day to all the great and amazing fathers out there. But with that being said, let's talk about the Women's World Cup first, and the U.S. women's national teams getting off to an amazing start, winning, beating, annihilating Thailand by 13 goals to 0. Now, obviously, Thailand isn't the strongest of teams, and the U.S. were able to crush them. But this brings up a bigger subject. Now, in that game, goal after goal after goal after goal, the U.S. women's national team kept celebrating just as happily, just as intensely. Now, in football, there's some unwritten rules. I don't know if y'all, like, there's just some rules, there's some things that we go about differently. Somebody gets injured on a play, it's a common courtesy to kick the ball out of the play so that, you know, they can, if the ref sees that there's no need to stop the game, you kick it out. When the play starts back up again, the other team who you kicked it out for gives you back the ball. Common courtesy. Same thing when you're playing against a team who's really not that strong. At some point, look at even the way Germany did it to Brazil a few years ago in the World Cup. They were winning 7-0. And at some point, after 3-4 goals, they really stopped celebrating. Now, if by the 13th goal to 0, you're still celebrating just as happily, that's kind of disrespectful. I'm not saying they should stop scoring. A lot of people are saying that the problem was the score. The problem is not scoring goals. That's their job. This is competition. That's what they're here to do. I have no problem with winners doing what winners are supposed to do. The celebrating, though, that's a little disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And again, nothing against the U.S. women's national team. They're winners. They're the reigning champions, and they got to make sure they do what they got to do so that it remains that way, so that they win the whole thing. But show a little more class and a little more respect for the adversaries that aren't as good, or for any adversary for that matter. But then again, they played also this week against Chile. First off, they beat them 3-0, so their advances to the next stage of the Women's World Cup. But Chile's goalkeeper was absolutely amazing. They could have won by a way larger margin, but that goalkeeper, she was flying. She was like a brick wall. Shout out to her, man. She might just be the best goalkeeper in that World Cup, period. And also, if you ever think for 1 second that women's football is boring, you have to go back and watch that Brazil versus Australia game. That game had everything. First of all, Martha, incredible play. What a legend this week. She scored her 16th ever World Cup goal, equaling Miroslav Klose actually in World Cup goals. Absolute legend. Christiani is just a warrior. Like, that woman just does not, she's so brave. Like, she goes in for every header, every contact. She's amazing. She's like a tough player. She scored during that game against Australia also. That game had everything. First couple of minute penalty, it had VAR taking away a goal, actually giving Australia a goal when they thought it was offside. Also headers. It was it was just amazing, amazing game. And those are the type of games that I want to see more of in this World Cup. It makes it so much more entertaining, and it makes it worth like having to watch all these games. You know, the World Cup, even in the men's, every game wasn't entertaining, but games like these make it all so worth it. But now let's go through some of the other Women's World Cup games of this week. We have Canada against New Zealand, which ended in 2-0. Sweden versus Thailand, that ended in 5-1. Thailand, I think, actually got eliminated, or they won't be able to go through the other round. But the US, as I said, beat Chile 3-0. China and Spain are playing this week. South Africa versus Germany, and also Nigeria versus France are all happening today. So look out for that. Right when we drop this video, look out for those other games. But now let's talk about the Copa America. Yes, the biggest football international competition in the Americas, in this side of the globe, is finally here. And Brazil kicked it off against Bolivia, and they beat them with an easy 3-0. Brazil played very well. Doesn't look like they're missing Neymar whatsoever, but he was there in spirit watching the boys play. But a player who really stood out in that game scored after a few minutes of coming into the game with an absolute banger. Everton Soares came in that game, Grêmio player, and this is the beauty of these international competition, is it gives those guys who are playing in the domestic leagues, not that there's anything wrong with playing in Brazil, but it gives them a chance to be seen more by scouts, seen more by bigger clubs, especially in Europe. I mean, the goal for a lot of players is to go play in Europe. That's where the big contracts are. That's where the quality, sometimes the technical side of football is a little bit more elevated than anywhere else. So to elevate their career and go to the next level, they want to go in Europe, and they're able to showcase their talents during those competitions, and he is doing just that. Don't be surprised if you see him being asked about by all the big clubs in Europe when the season's about to start. But for Brazil's arch nemesis, Argentina, things were not so good. Poor Messi, man. When is it gonna stop? When is it gonna stop for Leo? But Argentina defeated by Colombia 2-0, 2-0. Two great goals by Colombia. They're looking super strong, and with Brazil's performance and also Uruguay, who I'm going to talk about a bit later on, it seems like those three teams are definitely the strongest teams in the tournament. I kind of counted out Colombia at first, but seeing how they're playing now, seeing how they manage Argentina, maybe it's Argentina that's playing bad and not that, but let's see how the competition develops over time. But it seems like Uruguay definitely big contender for the title, and Brazil, of course. But let's look at some of the other scores too of this week in the Copa America. Venezuela paid Peru, and that goal ended in a 0-0 draw. Uruguay beat Ecuador 4-0. Cavani and Luis Suarez both on the score sheet. Also, Paraguay played Qatar. Paraguay was 2-0 up on Qatar. Watching that game, I definitely thought that because they were 2-0 up so early, Qatar was just feathers. Like they're just buns, soft. It's not going to happen. But they ended up coming back. And if you're wondering why Qatar is in the Copa America, well, there's always in the Copa America, every single time, there's teams from all over the world, 2 or 3 teams that are invited to play in the tournament, as I still don't completely understand why they do that, but they always invite some teams, and Qatar specifically, probably because they're going to be hosting the next World Cup. But also Japan is in the competition as a guest. And actually their first game, Japan versus Chile, is today, 7 p.m. on the dot. Look out for that. But now also quickly, let's go through the Gold Cup scores. Gold Cup kicked off this week with Canada beating Martinique. Easy 4-0 win for Canada. Mexico also cruising past Cuba, 7-0. A lot of goals so far in the Gold Cup, I'm telling you. And pour le drapeau, pour la patrie, marchons unis, Haiti, ah! My boys from Haiti trailing 1-0 against Bermuda. They counted us out. We went into that second half 1-0 down, but did they give up? No, sir. No, sir. Piero, my boy, 2 goals. to win that first game. Give those boys, give the Grenadier the 3 points to go into the next game. Come on! Yo pas nous pas, yo pas nous, yo pas nous même. But anyways, man, great game by Bermuda. They're definitely tougher than people would expect. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do for the rest of the tournament. But moving on, Costa Rica also beat Nicaragua 4-0, and Curacao and El Salvador, also Jamaica and Honduras. Those 2 games are going to be today, later on today, so be on the lookout for those also. And now for the younger competitions, the U20 World Cup was this week. Congratulations to Ukraine beating South Korea 3-1. Actually, they were trailing 1-0, and they ended up coming back from that 1-0 deficit and scoring 3 goals and winning the championship for the country, which is always an amazing thing, being able to win a major trophy. This is the U20 World Cup for your country. Hopefully this translates into the senior levels and Ukraine can actually contend in the next World Cup. But which brings us to another youth competition. The U21 Euros is going on right now, and let's take a look at some of those scores. Poland versus Belgium, which ended in 3-2. Poland won their first game. Congratulations to them. And Italy, who beat Spain 3-1. Italy. Whoa. To be honest, I'm seeing a surge, man. Netherlands, the senior teams is looking strong again. You got Van Dijk, Memphis Depay, we got Quincy Promise, you got so many Wijnaldum, so many Semedo. No, Semedo is in Portugal. I'm sorry about that. Forget I said that. But you have Netherlands looking super strong. Now you got Italy in the U21s looking strong too, getting off to a great start, beating Spain. Hey man, it's the year of the resurgence. It's the year we're seeing teams that used to be great but once were not great again, coming back again and being great again. You understood what I said. But that's pretty much it for the international competition this week, man. A whole lot of things going on, a whole lot of games, and it's not ending anytime soon. Tune in every single day. There's game. If you're bored, then turn on your TV. That's all you got to do, because football is going to be every single day this whole summer, and I could not be more excited. Also, guys, be on the lookout for much more content from Goal during the week. We're going to be out there talking to the people. You know what I'm saying? Getting a gist of what they're feeling about the tournaments right now. So be on the lookout for that coming real soon on Goal. But now, I really doubted this whole transfer, but it seems like Sarri is officially the new Juventus manager. Now, yes, I know that I said before that I don't think he's really up to par for the identity of the club, but it seems like the president, the board, everybody believes that he's up to the task. So, hey, man, congratulations to the man. It's just one more person with another big job, so I'm happy for him and I hope he does well, and I hope that he can make it far with the team. As long as he's not beating Barca, that's all good with me. But more on some transfers. Well, actually a completed transfer. Hazard's presentation to Real Madrid was this week. Thankfully, he went in front of the crowd. He did his little keep ups. You know what I'm saying? Kissed the ball a little bit on his head, and he didn't. It wasn't a complete fiasco, so that was a positive. But the fact that he had to go around the whole length of the field and kick balls to the crowd, I was like, damn, man, y'all already making my son work on the very first day. But it's good to see that he's finally there. He's got his medical done and everything. Let's see, man. Let's see, Real Madrid making big moves. Y'all better show up, because Barca's coming in strong. Atletico, Sevilla, we got Real Betis. Look at some of these other teams. Getafe, they're on the come up. Let's see, man. This La Liga season is about to be really interesting now. But also in some very interesting news, the PSG president, Mr. Nasser, has some very interesting words for the players, and he seems to be fed up with the fact that there's way too much stardom, there's way too much big, celebrity players on the team, and he's feeling like, that's taken away from the game, and I wholeheartedly agree. I don't feel as much for Mbappe, but for Neymar a bit. I mean, he's a young guy, and of course we want these guys to be enjoying themselves, but it seems like sometimes the outside life kind of overshadowed what they do on the field, and he's gone as far to say that if they don't agree with that, they can leave. And L'Equipe announced that they're willing to let Neymar go for the right price. If the right deal comes up with another team, they're willing to let him go. So and to be honest, I'm not really believing that. I feel like the way they acquired him, they're not gonna let him go that easy, even for the right price. You know what I'm saying? It's probably set out of anger, and they're gonna take him. Everything's gonna be all good. I don't think Neymar's leaving this summer at all. But last but not least, a big congratulations to Real Madrid and Spain captain Sergio Ramos, who got married this week. Big congratulations to him. A lot of his teammates and other guests were attending. But you know what's crazy though? The thing that stood out the most to me was his wife's dress. Like it was amazing. Amazing dress. And it looked a lot like a Balmain style. Like you remember at the Met Gala a few years ago, Kanye came through with this like pearl embroidered jacket. Like that's what that reminded me of. Very Balmain-ish. Or Balmain for my French people watching. Oh, and also a big congratulations to the Toronto Raptors for being NBA champions. They beat the Warriors in Game 6 of the finals. If you're someone who watches football and who's also interested in basketball a little bit, as I am, you'll be interested in this. But congrats to them for winning it for the first time in the history of their team. Kawhi Leonard coming through, man, and helping that team make history. I'm so happy for Kyle Lowry, Drake, you know, acting like he was actually part of that team, and he is actually a part of why this whole championship run was so historic. Like his antics on the sideline were just amazing. Pure entertainment, man. I love it all. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you're enjoying so much football that's going on right now in the world, drop a like for this. Drop a like for gold. Drop a like for whatever you want, man. Also, make sure you comment down below your thoughts, questions. You want to say, hey, you want to shout out somebody in football, shout out your team, where y'all from, all that good stuff. Also, subscribe to the channel. If you don't want to miss any of the videos whenever they drop, make sure you hit that bell. You're not going to miss nothing. Hit that little thing, so you don't miss any of the videos. Also, make sure you check out the social media and the music in the description. And I will see you guys next time on Goal. Peace. Nabale pita.